morning to all of you, and it is good to be back here in the historic Charles Leon conference room here at the Ministry of Information. A lot is happening. Yesterday was a busy day for the government of Liberia. We had the Inspector General of the Liberia National Police who spoke to the press and provided some basic updates on the incident on Capitol Hill. The President spoke to the nation yesterday evening. He said some good things. We're going to be showing light on what the President said. I'd like to welcome the acting chairperson of the Board of Commissioners of the Liberia Telecommunication Authority, LTA, Mr. Abdullah Kamara, to the Charles Leon conference room. He's here, as we stated on Tuesday, that he was going to be here not just to speak to issues surrounding the restoration of data services, but also to throw light on some of the tremendous progress the LTA has made as far as the implementation of the President's Digital Transformation Project is concerned, and among other things that they have done and continue to do at the LTA. Before I invite Mr. Kamara to the podium, we have to say something because a lot is happening in our country. But I'd like to begin by saying this in the face of everything that has happened over the last couple of days. As a government, it is our obligation to reassure the public, to reassure citizens and residents alike in the country that there is an authority in charge of the affairs of the country, and all of the rumors, the fear-mongering that you are hearing are only intended to instill fear in the civilian population. As a government, we want to reassure the people that we are in charge. And just to remind you that the country has been down this route before. There was a time in the country that people were threatening to burn down the nation because of political disagreement. There were times that people threatened to give a certain leader of the country a better Liberia because of what they believed was not in their own political interests. The nation has persevered. We have come of age, and we have a government that is governing the affairs of the country. That is why, as indicated yesterday by the President, every incident of violence will be thoroughly investigated, and those found culpable, regardless of your status, regardless of where you come from, you will be held accountable. There's no room, there's no space for violence in our country. What happened at the Capitol building yesterday, the seat of the Liberian legislation, is absolutely unacceptable. And the police is investigating, and those that have been identified as persons of interest, they have no option but cooperate with the investigation. So, before coming here, we spoke to the Inspector General of Police. He informed us that the individuals that they have identified as persons of interest are cooperating. If you are following what is happening currently at the police station, they have turned themselves over. And somebody has a bad responsibility for what happened at Capitol building yesterday. So the investigation continues, and the bounty that was announced yesterday in the tune of $5,000 for anybody who has information leading to the discovery of the perpetrators of the incident on Capitol Hill yesterday. You are encouraged to come forward. It is our country, and we have to be against any act of domestic terrorism going to set a public building ablaze because of whatever reason best known to yourself is unacceptable. So we encourage citizens, residents who have information about what happened on Capitol Hill to come forward. The government announced a package of $5,000 for anybody who will provide information leading to the identification or arrest of the perpetrators of yesterday's violence. There are a couple of updates that we have to provide. As I said, the chief executive of the country spoke yesterday evening, and he announced that the government of Liberia has qualified for a U.S. government Millennium Challenge Corporation MCC compact grant. You may recall that this is Liberia's second compact. The first compact gave the country a total of $257 million in 2015. The MCC has confirmed to the Liberian government through His Excellency President Joseph Maduaka yesterday through a telephone conversation with CEO Alice Albert. The country met key governance benchmarks, including rule of law, trade policy, and fiscal management, surpassing the requirement to pass at least 10 out of 20 performance indicators. It takes more than just meeting the requirement benchmark to obtain a compact. It comes with confidence in the country's leadership and the direction in which the country is headed. This confirmation is a significant boost to the government of Liberia and the administration of President Ouattara for just 11 months in office. The compact was created by the U.S. Congress in January 2024 with strong bipartisanship support. MCC partners with the world's poorest countries that are committed to just and democratic governance, economic freedom, and investing in their population. Investing in well-governed countries is the most effective use of development dollars and incentive reforms even before a country is elected to partner with the MCC. The MCC provides time-limited grants promoting economic growth, reducing poverty, and strengthening institutions. These investments in core infrastructure and policy and institutional reforms are key interventions that are expected to benefit nearly 4 million people across 47 countries. MCC investments support stability and prosperity in partner countries, all while furthering American interests. With cost-effective and transparent projects, a lean staff, and an evidence-based approach, MCC ensures American taxpayer dollars are well spent and go to countries that share their values. India-Liberia, as you may be aware, we announced the other day that our bid for the non-permanent seat of the United Nations Security Council is on an irreversible trajectory. And so against that backdrop, India, Liberia have agreed to support the country's bid for the permanent seat at the UN General Assembly or Security Council for the year 2028 to 2029 on reciprocal basis. The government of Liberia, the government of the Republic of India and Liberia have agreed in Monrovia to support each other for non-permanent UN Security Council seats. This major boost to Liberia's international diplomacy came at a time when Liberia and India on December 17 held their first round of Foreign Office Consultation, FOC, co-chaired by Mr. Sibila Lee, Additional Secretary, Ministry of External Affairs, and Her Excellency Mrs. Sarah Geslo Yanti, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Liberia. During the FOC, both sides undertook a comprehensive review of their governments of India-Liberia bilateral relations, encompassing key areas of bilateral cooperation, including trade, investment, mining, agriculture, health, pharmaceutical, education, capacity building, and people-to-people exchanges. They agreed to further deepen and diversify bilateral ties in key areas of contemporary relevance, such as digital, public infrastructure, DPI, energy development, and development cooperation. The India-Liberia bilateral trade has registered US $256 million during 2023-2024. Significant portion of the bilateral trade was India's export to Liberia. More so, Liberia is a beneficiary. Liberia is a beneficiary of the duty-free tariff preference scheme extended by India that will facilitate Liberia's export of timber, vegetable oil, rubber, and other commodities to India. There exists significant potential in other sectors, particularly in agriculture, mineral exploitation, and pharmaceutical. Very lastly, the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation is doing a tremendous piece of job to revive the supply of water, pipeline water, across the country. And so this morning, the Managing Director of the LWSC, Mr. Mohammed Ali, hosted a program for the commissioning of the Carwell water booster system and the chlorine dosing system. The program was graced by Moserata County Senator Abraham Darius DeLong, who participated on behalf of Vice President Jeremiah Pan-Home. The program saw the rehabilitation of the Carwell water booster system that got damaged in 2021. This remarkable accomplishment will see a massive leap in the supply of water to the Bourgeois Island community and other parts of Monrovia, respectively. The chlorine dosing system will transition the purification of water from a manually based system of mixing chlorine to a more modernized technology. Also, the LWSC has announced that Bopolu City water supply system is nearing completion and will be dedicated in February of next year. We are told that technical feasibility study for the construction of the first ever water supply system in the city of Fleetwood, Maryland County will commence in January of 2025. The rehabilitation of the water supply system in Greenville-Sando County and in Zoedu-Grangeda County that got destroyed a couple of years ago are expected to be rehabilitated early next year. We extend many thanks to the management of the LWSC for working tirelessly to ensure that the people of Liberia can have access to safe drinking water. Of course, I have to conclude by saying that all of these projects are funded by the government of Liberia. That being said, let me now welcome the fire service boss, Mr. Bafo. So, Mr. Bafo will speak. That'll get a scheduled priority because a lot is happening. I'm told you have a meeting to go through after the right?
Good afternoon. Let me say thank you to the authority of the Ministry of Information, Culture Affairs and Tourism for the invite. And let me say thank you to the press for yesterday. Some good news, some bad news. People get their own thing, but whatever the case is, that it is. So we come this morning just to quickly brief you on what happened yesterday. In the morning, we woke up with our horrible news that our Capitol building, the seat of the legislature, was on fire. So we all went running there, mobilizing all of our team. And let me also inform you that in Liberia, we have an organization called Chief Fire Officer Association. All the fire departments are part. So whenever there's a situation, I, being the president, will call all the fire department to come so that together we can put our talent together to extinguish whatever fire, whatever challenge that we have. So we want to say, yesterday, I want to say bravo to all the guys that came to the water supply, water and sewer, the traffic enterprise, LPRC firefighters, Labrador National Fire Service, and the Setting Better firefighters. I want to say a big thank to them for the support yesterday. People want to know what the cause of the fire yesterday. We are still finding a lot. We are discovering a lot. So all I can say to you is that that fire did a great destruction. The whole John Chima destroyed. It means that we got to rebuild that portion of that building, if possible. The rectangle. And initially, the preliminary information that we have, looking at what we saw yesterday, we want to believe that that fire was Class B fire, and the flame was sustained, but we are still digging. So we just thought to provide you this information. And yesterday, our firefighters that got wounded by the walls that fell, thank God they were discharged from the hospital yesterday, already at home and doing well. And you see it in our operation form. We see we're there this morning, still on the dig. And as we go, hopefully, maybe a week from now, the further information will be provided by the investigative team. That team comprises of Labrador National Fire Service, the Labrador National Police, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the National Disaster Management Agency. So all of us are working on that team. As I speak to you, they are on the ground digging more and getting more information. So as we go back, we'll provide information. Thank you.
Okay, so Daria, take your seat. So you want to take question on the board, right? Okay, so the director have a national security meeting to attend. If you have questions, this time we'll take at most 3 to 4 questions.
Please introduce yourself and the institution you report for, and one question only.
Okay, Mr. Babu, my name is Afonso Kala, and I write for the People newspaper. Prior to yesterday fire incident in the capital building, there was information about fire outbreak from the scene area prior to yesterday. What that investigation says. I mean, just to follow up to this, there's this, information from your circle as well that the fire service, the Liberia National Fire Service, is challenged. How much do you need to settle the Liberia problem in terms of fighting fire effectively?
All right, thank you. Let me start with the first question. Indeed, there was fire, I think last week, on the second floor of the hospital. They didn't go on time to put under control, and that's when we saw that it was electrical. And so that was clear. The Liberia National Fire Service indeed is challenged, but thanks to the government, they 2024 budget provide us some money. We've done all the procurement process, all of the purchase order and vouchers are the Ministry of Finance. So we hopefully, if everything go through, we'll be purchasing 6 fire trucks, 2 fire jeep. Those fire jeep will be used to go to the congested area where the big truck can go. We'll be bringing in modified water tanker that can fight fire at the same time refill, and we'll bring in a uniform as well. Because if you see our men, you see the different kind of uniform. So the uniform that are approved by law, that's what we want to see our men in when they appear, you see them very decent and sparkling. We're also bringing operational vehicles, motorbike for our regional and counter commands. You asked, how much will we need? That's a good question. We have developed a project for the PSRP, that's the Public Sector Investment Plan, and we intend to do it year by year, hoping that the people at the legislature will work with us. We want to build in Masurado 70 substations, because the issue is firefighting has to do with time. So if there's a fire in Broadway and we have a substation, then that station will respond while backups are coming from other areas. So we want to consider Broadway, we want to consider Digsby, Warren, a place in Digsby there that will cover the Banana Bay, Digsby, and New Georgia. We want to do Johnsonville, we want to do Peace Bay, So also the president's dream is for us to build in every county a fire station. Not only building it, but the equipping. And equipping means we're going to recruit for the people to serve, for whoever will recruit and train them to serve the people in those areas. So the exact people, I don't have, I was just, they just put the PSRP for this 2025, and I've been busy with this fire thing, so I just put it on my desk and then maybe later on we can give a few to you.
So Chief, we will just take all the 3 questions and you can do the answer.
Thank you. My name is Samson Daviga, and I work for Care Living. So my question is, since you took over as fire service, there's issues about constant fire outbreak in the country. What are the measures are you being able to put in place to stop the fire outbreak so far? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm Morris Walati, and I report for OKM. It's good to see you, sir. 2 concerns quickly. One has to do with what has your preliminary investigation established in terms of what took place at the Capitol building? And finally, the last time you talked about the camp boys along the street. What are your plans? Because we are still seeing them anywhere in the street anyway. So I want to know what are your plans. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Mark for Radio. So my question here, in your explanation, you spoke about a word. You said the fire is a Class B fire. So what do you mean? Class B fire. So will you please explain the Class B fire and how long will this investigation take? Thank you.
Okay, so just what you're saying, because this is a research issue, and choose them rather than put forward what I'm doing. And the parents are eager to know as to what transpired at that historic building. And what are the equipments that you are using to detect the fires and how to equip the system?
All right, thank you. So let's start with the last question. I know all of us, every citizen of this country is interested in knowing what happened in the cabinet. You know, when it comes to investigating fire, there are a lot of things you do. Today you go there, you discover something, and next thing you go there, you discover beauty. Just the morning we discover something. So we are pressing the investigating team to make sure they can give us the further information within a week. So we hope that at the end of the 1 week, we'll be able to give us the first information on the cost. Because I don't want to preempt their report. The second thing you talk about Class B. There are several classes of fire, but in Liberia, just talking 3. Class A is what we call combustible or common fire. When that fire is on, you see the yellow color, right? Yellow, red, right? So when we see that color, because we identify the color, the fire by the color. Class B is where you got to take smoke and the fire shooting through it. That's called a flammable fire. It can result from gasoline, from chemical, from grease, and even it can boil. In fact, as I speak to you, there is a public service announcement on the air. I think it should be up by now because we've been working, the police and us been working along with the Input Association. We gave them up to January 15th. All right? And what we'll be saying to most of them is that, hey, if 2-3 persons get together and build a little mini gas station, you can put your resources together and, just to run instead of keeping gasoline in the street or in your homes. So we're giving them for now to the 15th of January. After the 15th, we confiscate whatever they have, right? And if we confiscate them, you want to be hiding, the law will take its course. I said that we are suspecting that that fire is a result of Class B. So I said it, and you talk about the constant fire outbreak. There are 3 ways fire comes about: through ignorance, mistake, or carelessness. So, and there are several ways to fight fire. One is before the occurrence of the fire prevention, and for me, I think that's the best way to fight fire because in Liberia we say prevention is better than cure. So you see what we've been doing a lot of awareness, all right? If you check your phone, you see messages from Orange, right? Most of you see the messages, right? And we're also doing with them from the schools because we are the kids are the end user of the things that cause fire. Because when we get home, we tell, hey, go plug my phone, go to the one, go to that one. And the extension cord that we buy, because it has 5 or 6 outlets, we just go and plug everything on it. For getting to know that we're overweighting the extension cord. Like we stand here, if I put 5 belts of that when you're here, 25 kg, you yell. So even you buy the extension cord today, after a week or 2, once you overburn it, it will get soft. That's where the fire can come from. And let me tell you, also, most of us when we leave our homes, we leave all our appliances on. Right? Sometimes you're sitting in the living room watching a maybe show or the news, you smell something. That cord or the socket on the wall is overburning. And in this country, when we build our houses, one will finish wiring, we all will know we finish wiring the house. It goes for many years. We don't regularly check the wiring system. And in this country, we got 2 kinds of wire. We got the standard wire, which is the open wire. You see number 10 and 12, and we got a change wire. You see number 10 and 12. So most of these technicians we have, you ask them to come to your where you get the money, they're going to buy the change wire because I want you the money. So after some time, you start experiencing shock in your house. Some of the wire it can turn to dust You know, there are arches. Some, the rubber will start breaking on it, it will fall apart and then negative and the police start tension. And also, we gotta be very careful. Our current sometimes when it goes, unplug everything, put a double toe down. I think we got a message going around. It's coming to the message from orange. So we gotta be very careful with the things that cause fire. You know, who live in the slum community. Our wives and our sisters will finish cooking, they take the cooker and dump it near the thing shop and put a set while thinking that when you do that, the fire will go up. No. When the breeze is blowing, the coal will be burning and the sand will get smaller and the sand will start going in between. And when the thing gets hot to a certain temperature, it bursts into fire. And by the way, sometimes we go for a fire, the CO will cool him all the people living in the fire and waiting for all of us would be able to cool the temperature of that thing. Because if we don't do so, that one will catch a fire and instead of containing with one structure, we'll be containing with two or more structures. And so the constant outbreak of fire is just through carelessness, mistake, or ignorance. So the best way we can is what? Create more awareness so our people can be aware. And it may interest you to know that the people in the interior are more cautious than us in the city. I remember in the interior, at a certain time, especially where the breeze can blow, in the afternoon hour from 12 on, the people got law there. Make sure you want to cook, you cook before 12 o'clock. And we'll move from hot to hot or hot to hot to make sure that there's no fire in that place. Because if there's any fire there, and when the breeze are blowing, any spark can touch, they can go to any structure, it will catch fire. So, so far we talk about the constant outbreak of fire, these are the causes. But we all gotta be ambassadors in the various community we are. All right? They will sell the team, the various community carry stickers. They see the car going around, going to marketplaces, creating awareness for people to be very careful with that cause fire. Thank you.
Thank you, Darrell. Chairperson? Okay, good afternoon. So today I'm here to give you some briefing on the activities at the LTA and of course the most recent issue regarding data prices. So I'll walk through some things. Since the data issue requires a little bit more information, I'll just touch on the other issues first, and then I'll end with that if you don't mind. So, interestingly, and I'm actually very, very pleased to announce that last week Thursday we awarded the certificates and diplomas to the students that took part in the 10,000 digital skills training program throughout the country. And some of them were also awarded seed money to start a small digital business so they can empower themselves. Some people that they are extremely aware, the one they got awarded with a smartphone, 4G smartphone, something where you have, I think, Pro Max 14 or something like that. And so there were a lot of goodies given away last week, but it was a huge milestone. Promise made, promise kept by His Excellency, as he announced earlier this year in the SONA. Additionally, we
started the preliminary activity for further step for the digital transformation. So for the purpose of clarity, plenty people just believe that the digital transformation has to do only with training. It is much, much bigger than that. The digital transformation project is geared towards transitioning Liberia into a digital society and to ensure that we have a digital economy. That's the way, anyway, we don't want to be left behind. The rest of the world is moving into that direction. So the LTA is spearheading the digital transformation. That means we're working with various ministries and agencies regarding infrastructure, regarding specific, deliverables in each of the arrest agenda for roles, healthcare, education, and so forth. Even I was just talking to the Minister for Tourism. We have some things that we have to do together. When it comes to the digital economy, one of the key milestones is interoperability platform. That means you can send money from Orange account to Lone Star account. So gone would be those days where your brother is sick, he's in a hospital somewhere, and you are in another location, you have $50, he needs $30, but he has a different account and you can't send it to him. Or the agent that is in that vicinity does not have means to cash out on another account. So you'll be able to send money across accounts, but also even with the banks. So we're trying to, we already have the regulations in place. Now enforcement will be taking place as well. The President, in the speech delivered, of course, by the Minister of State with our portfolio, the Minister of Sen, he read the President's speech, and in that speech there were some mandates. One of the most important mandates is the President has instructed the LTA, LTC, and the Minister of Post and Telecommunication ensure that there are ICT centers in all 15 counties capitals. So that's a project that we have embraced and will be doing. And that's the way of ensuring under the digital transformation that the transformation project is not only in Monrovia, but also throughout the country. So people can have access to digital means of engaging government, but also trading. A very common example, we're hoping that we empower the young people, even in the counties, to be able to aggregate products of farmers. You got different farmers with small packet, produce that they can produce, but you can aggregate it, put it on an e-commerce site, just like China is doing, just like other countries are doing. You got small manufacturer of different kinds of services, and you got an e-commerce aggregator that put them together and make it look like a big market, so that people anywhere in Liberia, outside of Liberia, even in the United States, can have access to the products of our farmers. That's just one example. We also issue the Starlink license. I think there's a lot of questions about that throughout the contract. There are a lot of calls, when the Starlink people come in. The Starlink people got a license, but we are now authorizing local ISPs to be able to deliver the service. The model that Starlink usually uses that people go online to do it, but one, the service will be accessible to everybody, which means you have we need local ISPs. ISPs are internet service providers, to be able to, where people can go and engage them so they can get some of the services, but it's also good for support, it's good for local job opportunity. Another very positive thing about Starlink service is it is going to be throughout the country. So the entire country is now with this license, the entire country has internet access. If you have Starlink device, you can set up your internet anywhere and be able to ground. So we believe the schools and hospitals will be, and the government entities around the country will benefit significantly from this new opportunity that we have brought today. So as you can see, with some of these initiatives and actions, internet is now going to be available, or computer services are now going to be available throughout the country. We also, this year, you know, we've just been around for like 8 months, no less, probably 7 months, this current board, but we have done so much. When we came, our headquarters, there was nothing, there was money paid, but the work had not started. And right now we're on the 4th floor, it's a huge building. And we are adding a lot of new features to make it look really like a technology environment. LTA is the head of the space, so we want to ensure that we set the right examples. At the site also, we have asked the contractor to include an innovation hub. You know, technology is not for the older people, it's for the young people. And the young people don't have money. The young people need to, you know, they have great ideas, but they need space to do that. So this innovation hub will be housed at our headquarters. We'll provide internet access, computers, and space for you to come with your ideas. We'll have mentors there to help you to guide your process, to give you feedback, and resources to do research so you can set up your operation as soon as possible. Where in the old age you need $200,000 to start a certain business, nowadays with just access to internet and your phone, you already start to do some serious business. Now, you heard about the cybersecurity conference we had. This coming budget year, we're going to put some serious attention to ensuring Liberia is more and more aware of a risk of cybercrimes. I think everybody here has had some sort of experience with cybercrime. Either somebody calling you to tell you that somebody else or somebody's account got hacked and the same message, or somebody call you and say, oh, please, you want something. There are different kinds of cybersecurity. So we'll be addressing those issues. We will also be investing in training and awareness significantly on that front. Another good news we will be, in January, we'll be signing a free roaming agreement with 3 countries, and 2 months later, the 4th. So, Sierra Leone, the Gambia, and Ghana. What does that mean? You know, when you're traveling and you go to another country, you got to turn on a special service called roaming, and then they will charge you good. We want to make that free. So instead of them charging you at least up to, I think, 300 million or something, there's a limit that you can use your phone from your country at the local price. And the other company will not charge the visitor. So this is a very, very big milestone. We all know everybody is going right across the border, Sierra Leone, and with Ghana, the destination for most Liberians, especially young business women. And that's one of the first steps they can do to go get goods. So in this way, we try to address some of their concerns about prices of internet and calling. We did the consumer protection regulation and the quality of service. We all know, and that will come out immediately within the data discussion. We all know that from last year, you notice people been losing. You buy your data, and in no time, whoop, it's gone. Or you say you got 3 days of calls, and you got only 2 days because the tower was down. because your minutes was wiped out. So we came up with the quality of service regulation that is putting the feet of the service providers to the fire to make sure that they provide the exact value that you paid for. And that led to some of the discussion about data, and I'll come to that later. And the protection regulation is that you as customers, there are rules now that we have how you can engage the operators to address your issue. So in this same case, you living in Bokotile, and you have pay for your service, and then the tower goes off for 7 hours. I heard that they should restitute your money, because pretty much what if you needed to provide a service at that time. So there's now a procedure that we have put in place, and will be penalizing operators for the lack of or poor quality service on their platform. We work with the National Identity Registry. We all know. Now we want to boost the number of people that have the national ID card. Right now it's less than 1 million, but LTA has almost 4.4 million subscribers. So we want to make sure that all those people are also in the. You must be known. That will reduce fraud. So some of the people that are doing, the prank calls, or they will call and make demands or threats. The last time I said got a threat call. Then you can trace the number easily, and you can easily identify who the person was. So you will be pretty much protected from all sorts of cyber crimes. Now, regarding the data issue, last week, I believe, early part of last week, users experienced a sudden change in the price of their data, and everybody got unhappy about that, and even there was a protest at our office on this past Monday. We received the petition from the group that came. It was a very, very peaceful protest, and they presented the petition with all of the things that they wanted to be restored or fixed. But I can tell you, by the time they reached, most of them already experienced that the products, I would say the popular products that they were discussing have been restored, and I think most of you will bear witness to that. But what led to the decision of the LT? Telecommunication is a very essential part of our society right now. Some people say food, internet, and everything else. It is very, very important. And we also take that very, very seriously as regulators. So we are on the bite of the service provider to make sure they can perform and they can provide affordable services to government, but also consistent services. A few years ago, if I should go even further back into history, this is my second tenure at the LTA. I was there from 2009 to 2013. And at the time, the per minute call was 10 cents. 10 cents. And before that time, I think they used to do 75 before you get a scratch card. And then you have to use that 75 in 15 days or something, or 30 days. But we reached to the stage now, SIM card is free, and you can buy dollar cards. But at the time, you have only 10 minutes on $1. So by the time I left, we have made some intervention. It became around 4 minutes. But there was an ongoing promotion from Telecom at the time called the $1 free call. I know why that went on so long, because it's actually misleading in the name. You can say you pay $1, you say it's free call. So you actually pay $1 and the calls were cheap. But that did something bad to the sector. Number one, both operators, when the other people started to compete, they started to lose money to the point that No Star laid off some people, and there was threats about folding down. And that is actually not good for you, because if operators leave, that if you have one operator on the market, then you will not even have these competitive products. We don't want to reach to a point where we'll have one player in the market. So at that time, the market lost serious value. Government even lost almost $5 million from that fight between the two parties, because they sort of pay taxes on their income, and when they didn't pay the taxes, so government lost some money. The intervention at the time was to set what they call price floor. That's an economic terminology. Price floor is pretty much saying, don't sell the product below your cost. Because when you start selling below your cost, you will eventually be in trouble to maintain the service, and you will stop the service. That was the intervention before. Sometime last year was election year, so the regulator, I think, created a relaxed regulatory environment that caused the two operators to fight with the price again. So they started competing on price instead of quality. I think we should be mindful that people should not be giving you so-called free call, but you're not really getting it. And at that time, from that time until now, they have been fighting. So let me give you an example of why our intervention is important. When we came to do the quality of service I just talked about, to put their feet to the fire, it meant that they have to keep their towers on, because I can give you 25 gig, but if you didn't get the means to use it, what is that? If I give you 50 gig and the tower is off the whole time, what good does that do? If I give everybody a dollar, I say unlimited call and unlimited data, what happens? Everybody goes online and nobody enjoys. This is what most users were experiencing: drop call, oh, they cleared my data, or they didn't give me what I wanted. So everybody started to complain. So we received complaints from people, from consumers, but the operator themselves, as soon as we got appointed in May when we took over, we just started receiving 2-3 letters per week. Oh, you're intervening, somebody was shut down, we're losing money, and a lot of threat towards the sector. And at the same time, users are complaining about, oh, they're cheating us. I buy my credit, I don't get it. So the intervention was, we put a quality of service and enforce it. We put consumer protection and enforce it. But that also means that the cost of the product had to be adjusted. So in 2019, the intervention by the previous board was at this level. We brought the price flow to this level, because they were somewhere around here competing with each other. We said, okay, we'll get as close as possible to them, but not to the point where they may lose money and get out of the market, because this is what we're trying to protect. We do not want a monopoly. If any of these operators get out of the market, we will have a problem. Now we'll be fighting over a price cap, because it will tell you all sorts of things about how the operation is going. Now, for this reason, we set that price flow by more than 60% lower than where it was before. Sadly, for the implementation, they did not inform the public. They did not tell the public, and even I would say LTA, we did not push enough to inform the general public that you may experience change. Another thing that happened, which I believe was not in good faith by the operators, I think 3 or 4 days before, they went again at it with each other And if you notice, few weeks before the week of the implementation, the price was different. The last week, the price dropped. And that was not in good faith, because actually that created more this distress with the general public. So in short, our intervention was done in good faith. We brought the price flow down. In other words, it's supposed to be officially cheaper. We then tighten what they cannot do with respect to the quality of service, so that we can hold them by that. We can penalize them, because they can't complain anymore that they ain't making money, because we put it at a place where they will increase the price. I would say increase. No, that's another thing, by the way. So all the products you activate is called promotion. In every way, all the right that you go Rada Street, they got promotion for the Christmas season, right? Normally during seasonal period, they're supposed to put up promotion and reduce the price from this time to this time. It is not supposed to be a permanent product. If you took note before, if you put credit on your card, you gotta activate some kind of promotion, right? You know how to call it. But then they never moved the promotion off the platform. So it became a regular thing. When you go straight there, activate and so forth. And that was wrong. That was totally wrong. They should have always asked the regulator for approval. This is why you see that they're going back to where they used to be. Because the price rule that we put in place, we said, look, if you want to do promotion, let the LTA know. We're supposed to give you clearance to do your promotion, or at least if we object, then we'll let you know. But we inform us that we're doing X, Y, and Z, and we object to it, you can go ahead and do your promotion. But the promotion has to indicate we're starting at this date, will be ending at this date. Then we know it's a promotion, but promotion cannot be permanent because it undermines their own capacity for short-term gain. And they, if you look at the total market, it has been growing quite heftily, and the number of users have increased, especially on the data side, which is also good. We have to ensure that we can maintain that level while the service remains affordable. Liberia is among some of, right now, with the price flow that we introduced, is among some of the lowest in the region and around the world. And of course, there's still room to go to make some reductions based on the appeal of the young people, by the way, the ones that had a protest. They made some sense in their appeal, which the board has looked into, and will start consultation with the various groups and the service providers to ensure that we can come to a level that is fair and that will actually generate more usage on the platform. I thank you very, very much for listening.
The chair can sit on
This is focused on Liberia. You Charles William Press Room.
So, Media Police, the question.
Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. We have
One
the
question
acting
only.
chair who's just
This is
elaborated. And now it's time for questions.
My question is to you, Chairperson. Thank you for the leadership training program, but the public and those that participate in training, they have questions when it comes to their personal certificate. The collegiate program, they will only award to their worthiness. When it comes to the personal certificates, they are yet to receive their certificate on the platform. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Kura Thompson, and I report for the Truly Independent Regional Newspaper. Well, I've actually been searching for this opportunity to ask you this question. I was one of the beneficiaries of the programs. But during your presentation, I hear you say that the program was successful, when in fact, there are still noise in the corridor that the program was a fiasco. Let me give you a few hints of what I'm saying. I will read text message from our chat room. During the administration of the test, somebody said, I now understand the exam. Again, I do it over 6 times now. They create me and later remove it and ask me to start over. And even the quiz answer, I got 50, over 50 in all e-commerce, digital marketing quiz, but later remove the grade again, and they know that what they are up to, the program is corrupt. Another person said that they were basically training us fully well, knowing fully well that they have their own people to give their prices to, and they keep doing things so badly, so there are a lot of dissatisfaction. And in fact, up to this, there are people saying that you guys brought your own people to award the certificates, knowing fully well the portal that was given for us to take tests were malfunctioning. So when you say that the program was successful, what is your definition of successful? Thank you.
You participated in the program?
Yes, sir.
What is the impression?
I fall in the same category, sir.
You say
I fall in the same category, sir. Because all through, we even try to reach through the email that was provided in the chat room, and somebody just responded to us. Somehow we tried to reach your office, but we never had access to you as well. Thank you.
Please start talking across the board.
Thank you. And so my name is Mark Gary from Usual Radio. 2 questions for both of you. The first question goes to Mr. Sanders. What is the status of those people who were arrested during the protest that was taken to the South Beach prison program? And the next question to the LTA boss. What are the legal penalties for GSM company if the people are here too? Thank you.
My name is Afonso Karama, and I write for the People Newspaper. So I want to know, are you the CEO? Are you still the CEO of Telecom Corporation? This question comes as a result of concerns from many Liberians regarding conflict of interest. So we'd like you to clarify this with me.
And I'm James M. Bala, and I report for Little Chowara in Market County. And so my question goes to the LTA boss. Chief of what are the motive behind the means and data deductions that sometimes cause serious problems before government realize that its citizens have been harmed, and who benefits if these deductions are made, and if it is the citizens or the service providers, what are the consequences after corrupting the citizens? And finally, the issue that has to do with money taken away and telling you say use a minute in a specific time. There is a product that I'm using and have paid for myself, it's in my possession. So what is LTA doing to have the market free that if I have 6 minutes, I'm going to use it out of my will and pleasure unto a given use?
Good afternoon, Mr. Kamara. My name is Christopher Bestman. I report from Voice of Liberia. 2 concerns quickly. As it relates to the 3-day free course initially we used to have, is the aligning plan making at least to bring our operators to a discussion wherein they reinstate the 3-day free course completely, because there are too many quality RTS or RCTS programs that we are bringing to enhance the entire telecommunications stuff, and that's believed to be very helpful for our nation. We're targeting this measure to bring about 3 days, and follow up to my colleague James, but I don't know whether you also viewing the data services with Orange Liberia, because they still retain the $1 for 1 gigabyte, because only those that has transition $1 for 2. So where are we with that? Thank you.
So if you have a question, form a queue. Now when we think that we are done with question, then another person walking into the queue, please.
Let's take forward.
Thank you so much. My name is Ines Reeves, so I report for Lux Radio and Lux Online Television. My question to Honorable Kamara, few points I jotted while you were in speech. You spoke of the consumer perception regulation, and on that, protection regulation, thank you. On that, you spoke of quality of service regulation, where you spoke of there is this channel on how consumers can engage operators on service provider. So I want to know what channel is the LTA going to give to consumers, which was not explained directly, to engage those service providers. In connection with that, you spoke of penalties for post-service. How soon should we expect the strict penalties exposure to the public? Because you've not made mention of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think I got one question. I got one question who asked. It's a question of interest for me to help educate Liberia. The question was very, very scientific. That's the data reduction, the reasons, and the who benefits and so forth. So I'll answer that last, if you don't mind. I think it was you, right? Yeah, thank you. Certificates of trainees, as you can imagine, the ministerial complex can hold at max, I think, 700 people. And you have almost, I think, well over 7,000 people that did the test online, but everybody that did the training gets certificate of participation. The online thing was to test and see who actually did well, because we had some gifts and some scholarship opportunity. This is why it was important for people to do the test. And Chief, if 10,000 persons engaged the LTA for this program, actually it was 11,900 plus who registered. The actual people that attended was around just a little over 10,000 people. I did not expect, and it will be very, very dubious of us to say it was perfect to the extent that nobody complained. That would be completely misleading. Of course, there were several other things that came up, but overall, the program was successful. I believe if these issues were really, really dominant, as you made it appear to be, we would have heard it. And of course, some people attempted, as usual in like some people attempted to do the test multiple times, and then they expect their good grade to be the one you should take. So, and that would not work either. So there are different reasons why things went that way. I'm not saying that our process was perfect. This is the first time that we have done such, and look at the number of people we're talking about that were involved. And I would take that from you as a point of reference, or that we should take into consideration when we're doing our next activity. Now, also the issue about preferences and all of that, to the best of my knowledge, and I really, really work towards that. I doubt, and I use the word doubt because operationally I was not in front of every little thing that was happening, but we made sure we asked questions, we made sure we validated, verified a lot of those that benefited, to ensure that it was done fairly. In fact, some of the mechanisms we put in place were, for the scholarship, it had to come from one from each county, at least one from each county. Otherwise, everything was going to be settled the same way with the telephone, one from each county, so the best person in each county. That means, if you're saying that, then our team had to have their family people in all of the counties, and then they have to have two persons on in those counties to benefit from the different things that happen. Again, I'm not saying it's completely ruled out, but we put in mechanism to ensure that it remained or it was fair. Penalties. Somebody asked about penalties for the operator. Here we have penalties ranging from $5,000 to as high as $75,000, depending on the gravity and the occurrence of the quality of service issues that we talk about. It's in the regulation. You can check on our website. If you don't find it, please call our hotline. That's 2244. And they should be able to give you detail on that. No, I'm not a CEO of Tama Corporation. I resigned even before I got appointed. Once I became part of this transition team, I thought it was wise to do so. So no, the new CEO is one Fabio. His last name I'm always forgetting, but Tama has a new management team. Data reduction and reasons. I said I'll do that last. 3-day free call was also a very good question. The channels to engage the MNO, so they have their call centers, you know the numbers, it's free of charge. So even if you have zero, look at some of the things I said, right? So you have a tower in your community. You got one SIM serving that tower, right? And it goes up. How can you call? How much? What if there's an emergency that people in that community already know there's coverage? That's why they bought your scratch card. It's not that they went somewhere else, right? I live in the community, I already have coverage, so I said, oh, send this network here, I'm buying that SIM card. I will charge that SIM card, and then the tower goes off. So what do? You don't have access to even complain. So those are some of the things that we're taking seriously with the operators. But LTA has their own number 2244, which is free, and you can call it hopefully when there's connection. Now another thing we're trying to do in line with some of these challenges I mentioned of the domestic roaming. Did I mention it? No, I didn't. Domestic roaming is the same way you go to Ghana and roam on another network with your phone. Since in fact, to be frank, the president, when he came from Sierra Leone, he said, I saw people, I see people 334 in meeting, I see all my ministers 334 why you can't stop it. It's because it's expensive to call across network, and you want to be sure when you're somewhere the other tower there, you can use it. So we'll be introducing what they call domestic roaming, meaning even if you got only one SIM, any network that is there, they will channel. Once you get credit, they should be able to channel your calls. They should be able to make the call. That will reduce the issue about not having coverage, because some people are somewhere, others are not there. Now, the 3-day free call is supposed to be a promotion. Okay? The price flow has broad limit to how much you can do with those promotions. So, because this is the quality of service issue we're talking about, so they may likely not be able to provide that 3-day so-called free call, because it's not free, but they'll bring products that are closer to those ones. In fact, the current price we have is about, I think, a little over 100 minutes now on the price flow that we introduced that you can make the calls on. But I have to warn you that free is not always good for you. Free can create congestion. You don't want to have a situation where everybody can just use or abuse the service. I wanted to say something about this internet business. I'll speak at the last question. There are two ways. If you are a heavy user of data, please go to ISP. That is your best bet. I don't care how cheap these people make these things. If you are a heavy user, don't buy these bundles. Now, the two ways internet can be provided by the service provider is the pipe size and the cup size. The pipe size can be this big or this big. They charge you on the speed, not the volume that you use. So if you buy this side, it will be a little bit slower, or let's just say it will be fast, but not as fast as this side. This side you can put maybe 25 people on it, you're not even feeding. But you pay good money for it, and it's unlimited. You can watch 200 movies in a day. But if I gave you cups of data, I would say, so if you go to the market, the woman and get a 50 LD cup of rice, 100 LD or the 500 LD. If I'm selling you the 100 LD cup, and you say it's small, I want to buy the 500 LD cup, the man says, oh yeah, I can give it to you for 200 LD in a promotion. right? But then he tell you got to eat all that at once. That's where somebody will ask you about the limit. The people, they are aware that you will not use all of the data. That bit they put in front of you is a bit to lure you to go and buy that. How can you give somebody one bag of rice, say you can eat it the same day, or 5 cups of rice, you must eat it the same day? And you say, oh, actually it's going to be 1,000 LD, but I send it to you for 300 LD. So buy it now, but you got to eat it today. As soon as today pass, you want to go do your code in the morning, ain't there again. No. That's the same way they treat the so-called abundance of data. They give it to you, but then they put a limit to when you can use it. Your mom will say now you get 10 gig. How many shows your mom watching a day? How many movies you're watching a day? You can't watch unlimited movie at certain point in time. Yourself will get tired or you sleep. Then the data will just be on. What happens now? Your neighbor or the other person next to you now can't get data because your own I'm pointing to you, I'm sorry. your own data is on. But so we gotta be mindful that these people put all sort of marketing strategy in their products or in their promotion, and you rush to get it, you think I actually have it, but you don't. You don't have it. So you gotta put that into perspective as you buy your product. If anybody who uses more than $5 a day, or even $3 a day, or you want to use 10 gig a day, let me just say 10 gig, then you're not supposed to rely on the mobile data. Buy, they call it ISP connection. You buy data, fiber to your home, fiber to your office, and you just pay your $80. Some of them, I think they range from $55 to as high as even $1,000. It depends on the size you want. BB company will buy the big one, and if you are alone, you buy the $55 home, or the $80, $125, depending on your usage. But that's better than paying $5 every day. And at the end of the month, you actually pay how much? $30, $40 for something that is limited, that you did not use all of, because every time they cut you off. So that would be my advice to most of the people. Now, to the gentleman on the reduction, I just touch it. The service provider, the limit they give you on your data is actually a promotion. It's nothing else. It's meant for a certain period. And the only person that benefits from it is the service provider. Government will benefit nothing from that. They're squeezing your pipe so they can also bring the total speed here. So I just told you about this size. They can put on this tower, maybe this pipe, right? Intentionally. But then all of you get, I don't know, 25 gig data. And all of us on that same tower. So you think it'll be fast? No. This is the same thing I just said with the companies that bring their data and just open the pipe as well as possible because they know, say, okay, I got more stuff, we need to be online, we need to be downloading stuff, we need to be sending stuff, we need to be streaming, and all these different things. So please be mindful of the, and by the way, about consumer protection, one thing we have there also is deceptive advertising. Promoting something that you know you are not selling. Those are things that will be taken into consideration as well. I hope I answered all of the questions. Thank you. So my brother, please check good in the group. Out of 10,000 people, I believe there will be people that are not satisfied. Still, I will reach out to the project manager to make sure that we can address some of those things. That day, I was on the stage. The people I was giving the prizes to, I don't know them from nowhere. I think it was 2 or 3 persons. I said, hey, I know your face from somewhere. But you know, the country is also a small country. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Acting Commissioner. Those questions were well answered. So, you want to know the status of the people who were arrested at the protest scene. You listened to the Inspector General of Police yesterday, and he was very unequivocal. Those who were arrested are being investigated. The ones who they determined had nothing to do in connection with the violence that occurred on Capitol Hill, they were subsequently released. The ones who they established had something to do with the violence were being processed to court. Of course, you know, the police will operate within the confines of the law, and the rights of those who have been arrested will be protected. So yes, I'm quoting the Inspector General of Police. They are being processed to court. I'm particularly referencing those who we deem to be in connection with the violence that occurred on Capitol Hill. They've been processed. And when you come in conflict with the law, the next thing you can do for yourself is to find yourself legal representation. So those remedies are available to them. They can make proper use of them. But as far as we know, they are being processed to court. On that note, we like to commend all of you for complimenting our efforts here at Ministry of Information. I'm not sure we're going to be here on next Tuesday because of the holiday season. So we look forward to seeing you. Maybe if there is something very imperative, Pamela will contact all our reporters so you can assemble on the dot. We want to, on behalf of the government, say Merry Christmas and a happy prosperous New Year to all of you.